What's going on, peeps? Coming at you one more again. Um, so obviously, as you guys know, accident. I was taken to the hospital. I was taken to Jackson Hospital, Henry Ford Jackson Hospital, and that night, I do remember. Again, like I've told you guys before, I was pretty heavily sedated. They had me pretty doped up, and but I do remember bits and pieces. I do remember the EMT and the officer both came that night and the next morning to check on me to make sure I was good. And that night, as many of you know, when you have medications like that in you, when you have a lot of different kinds of opiates and painkillers and stuff like that, you get cotton mouth really bad. You get some pretty bad dry mouth. So looking like Jim Carrey and me, myself, and Irene, I was in and out of consciousness, waking up and asking wifey for ice chips. Um, I got to give my wife credit through all this. She dealt with a lot. She put up with a lot for me, just personally, shit like I'm about to tell you, and just helping me out through all of it. Just amazing. So, being in and out of consciousness, I would wake up and have that dry ass mouth, right? Sahara Desert, asking wifey for some ice chips. Hey, wifey, hey, hey. I'm whispering because I'm not supposed to have any, right? Because I'm going into surgery the next morning. So they don't want me to have anything to eat or drink before the surgery, obviously, before I got bumped. However, with it still being in the morning, they don't want me to have anything in my system. So I'm in and out of consciousness. Hey, wifey, hey, hey, let me get some ice chips. Bring me some ice chips. Let me have some ice chips. And sometimes she would give me some, sometimes she wouldn't. And like I said, I gotta give her credit. She's sleeping in the hospital room with me. It's not really necessarily a room, the way the ICU was set up. So she's got two chairs pushed together and she's trying to sleep. And I'm waking her up, trying to get my mouth wet because I can't even work up enough spit to get my whistle wet, to get any kind of moisture in my mouth. So I'm waking up asking her. She's irritated. She finally actually leaves the room. Like I said, sometimes she would hook me up. Sometimes she was just trying to sleep. So she finally just left the room, left me laying there by myself. Kind of fucked up, but I don't blame her. um, have the surgery, get taken up to a different hospital room, which, as much as I can bitch and complain about insurance companies and can and will possibly in a different video, I was double covered at this point in time. So having two different insurances and one of those being Blue Cross Blue Shield. If anybody's part of the Blue Care Network, you know all about that. When you're in the hospital, sometimes they just throw shit at you because you got good insurance, which is, again, stupid, kind of messed up. But so with me being double covered, they're taking extra good care of me. Not to mention the staff there at Henry Ford Jackson. Oh man, I've had some good staff before. I've had decent staff. I've had okay staff. I've had horrible hospital staff. Um, but the staff at Henry Ford Jackson, they took great care of my ass. They bedside manner was great. They were constantly in there checking on me, not like interrupting me or shit. That's one thing, about hospitals. Some of you know, you don't get a lot of sleep because they constantly in the room checking on your ass. So they were coming in every once in a while, check on me, keep up on stuff, bring me popsicles. Again, I wasn't supposed to be eating anything. I had the NGO tube in that was pumping my stomach, and I was getting all my nourishment and fluids and everything from the IV. So I wasn't supposed to be eating anything, but me being me and making friends with people the way that I do as quickly as I do, I bonded really quickly with most of the staff that was taking care of me. I think that's part of the other reason why um, they were taking such good care of me. I think a lot of times, everybody, nurses, anybody, right? They just want somebody to see them. They want somebody to appreciate them. They want to hear thank you, right? So I made sure every time somebody came in and was just checking on me, hey, thank you, I appreciate it. Thanks for checking on me, whatever, whatever. Um, so I was getting popsicles on the sly, which was funny because the NGO tube is pumping my stomach, right? One of the doctors came in at one point and there's red fluid pumping out of the NGO tube into the collection bag. Sometimes red, sometimes purple, right? Just my two favorite popsicle colors or flavors, red and purple, right? Red and grape, cherry, straw, whatever it is, right? And grape. Uh, and and I had a little cup I had been using for the ice chips. Because again, I'm not allowed to really drink anything because how bloated I am. I'm getting fluids and stuff. So the ice chips are for me to chew on and kind of just keep my whistle wet, right? So I had like a little cup stashed next to me, and I was dropping all my popsicle sticks in there. And I would probably get, I don't know, 2 or 3 popsicles a day, just to kind of something for flavor in my mouth, as well as again, just keeping my mouth wet from all the damn drugs they had me on. So the doctor came in, sees red fluid getting pumped, starts freaking out, like, "Oh my god, what's going on? You got internal bleeding, like all this shit." And I'm like, "Oh no, 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 no!" And I'm like, "It's probably from the popsicles, right?" And he's like, "You're not supposed to be having anything." Got a little mad at me. Sometimes I do shit I'm not supposed to, even in the hospital. And you know, to the staff's credit, they were doing what I was asking them, and it was helping me out. So it was kind of a win-win, right? And then I think he actually like ended up pulling the blanket up or something because he wanted to like check the line or something. I forget what exactly happened, but like the blanket gets pulled up, right? And I had that cup of popsicle sticks sitting right next to me in the cup, right? So when he pulls it up, this thing falls to the floor, and it's like, fucking Rain Man matches fall to the floor. There's like a dozen popsicle sticks that fall to the floor. And he's like, "What is this?" And I was like, "You can't blame me for trying, right?" So, like I said, I end up getting pretty close with most of the people in there. I was still in a very emotional state, mentally, physically, emotionally, kind of in a weak spot, right? And so it was very heartfelt for me to have the staff look after me the way that they did, to be as concerned for me as they were. Like I said, they were coming in there, and I was getting backstories from them, and all just lovely, lovely people. To the point to where on the day that I left, 2 weeks later, I was leaving, and all the staff that had been on the floor taking care of me all gathered in my room. They all gathered in my room to say bye to me. There was like 6 or 7 nurses and myself, so there was 7 or 8 of us in a circle. And again, like I've told you guys before, I'm not a religious person. Spiritual, yes. Religious, no. So one of the nurses asked if they could say a prayer, and I was like, "Yes, of course, go ahead." So we're standing there in a circle of 7 or 8, all crying, all of us, and not just me, but all of us, standing there crying. And I get a hug from all of them, and then I get escorted downstairs by wheelchair into the transportation van, which then took me from Henry Ford Jackson to the IHA U of M hospital in Chelsea.